I still remember the day when my best friend Kelsie ran up to me at school, jumping up and down and yelling, "They accepted me! I got into NYU!" We immediately both started squealing as I gave her a huge hug and shouted out endless congratulations for getting into her dream school. Fast forward a couple years and Kelsie was in her second year at NYU, and it just so happened that her fall break fell at the same time as ASU's fall break. Perfect time to plan a trip to the big city and finally get to see where Kelsie lives for 9 months out of the year. After I got my 50-pound suitcase packed and zipped, I was off to the airport to fly into JFK. My long flight went smoothly, and as I arrived in New York late at night, I watched the lights and skyscrapers below me from the window. After our giddy reunion, Kelsie told me all about the activities she had planned for our 5 days together as we made our way back to her dorm in Manhattan. We definitely tried to squeeze in every sightseeing opportunity into my trip as possible, which had us non-stop moving from morning until night. I had my first subway adventure, complete with street artists performing inside the subway car.
Come on, let it shine. Who woke you up? Hey, Lord, woke you up this morning. You said let it shine. Well, God woke you up this morning. You said let it shine. Can you help my God?
I was in awe of how fast-paced the city was as we explored Times Square at night, bright lights and people everywhere. We climbed to the 86th floor of the Empire State Building, or in my opinion, the top of the world, and saw the most breathtaking view of New York. Kelsie enjoyed pointing out and telling me about which skyscrapers were which in the distance. For all of the Gossip Girl followers, I had my Serena van der Woodsen moment on the Met steps and kept my eye open for Chuck Bass while we walked around the Upper East Side. We jumped onto the Staten Island ferry, and as we sailed across the water, we were able to see the glorious Statue of Liberty, not to mention the panoramic view of the city behind us. We made sure to visit the World Trade Center 9/11 Memorial, which gave me chills by just seeing where the towers once stood. We had a blast visiting Madame Tussauds Wax Museum and posing for pictures with the wax celebrities. Some of my favorites included Beyoncé, George Clooney, and Marilyn Monroe. One sunny New York afternoon, we walked the Chelsea High Line and oohed and awed at the goodies and trinkets displayed in the Chelsea market. We ate gelato and took our time watching the magicians and street performers. Almost every morning in New York, Kelsie and I would grab fresh baked bagels and find a seat on a bench in Washington Square Park. It was close to Kelsie's dorm, and we people watched and listened to the Piano Man's music to start off our morning. I enjoyed all of the sights of New York, but one of my favorite places was Central Park. Kelsie and I tried to get there at least once a day so we could swing on the swings, explore, or lay in the green grass. It was absolutely picture perfect, and since I visited New York in October, I was able to see an extraordinary sight: the leaves changing color. My time with Kelsie went by too fast, but we made the most out of every moment, filling our days with adventures and the most delicious food. I remember eating a piece of New York cheesecake on my last night there to drown out the fact that I had to leave in the morning. New York was a beautiful city, and I can't wait for my next trip to the East Coast.